Alright, ladies and gents, you may or may not have seen or heard of this game before. I've just been recently introduced to it by the chaps, and it's a rather cunning little game called RimWorld. If you haven't heard of it, please allow me to introduce it to you. Unmodded, you start off with 3 guys. I'll give you it in a nutshell, and I'll show you a little bit of some of the later stuffs. I'm still learning, just to let you know. I am no pro, however, I have managed to make it almost to the end of a year. I know, right? Check me out. Anyway, this is how you start. If you've ever played Prison Architect, it looks almost graphically identical, which is not a bad thing. Now, the first thing that you should really try to do is secure your little settler guys. Now, see, I'm panning around just looking for a good mountain range. The best way that I've found so far is to mine and tunnel. Dig into a rock face and then protect the entrance. And that's what we're going to start doing here, which is to start to tunnel out this particular mountain and then get a settlement underway. And I'll be honest, that particular replay was shit, so we've sacked it off now, and this is one that's a bit more up to date. As standard operating procedures, the only way you can directly tell your guys what to do or what they should focus on task-wise is in this menu here that we're looking at, and that allows you to prioritize certain guys to do certain tasks. They all have attributes, abilities, interests, which will affect the way they gain and use skills and abilities. In fact, some of the characters, they can't physically haul, for example. So, taking that into account, assign them so that there's a good spread of tasks being done. And as sad as it sounds, I've got a little checklist here in front of me of all the things that I wanted to try and use to sell to you to get this game a little bit of recognition. Trading. It's one of the things I wanted to show you. Bang, there it is. Weapons. Nice. The other thing is the base building. There's a few steps you need to do to keep your chaps happy. One of which is to keep them warm in winter. Keep them cold in heat waves. Make sure that the environment is clean and tidy, full of, or free of junk, all the rest of that stuff. Clear of bodies and blood. And give them all separate rooms. You know, sort of keep them fed. Standard little simmy fare. Now, the combat. This is an instance of when I was prepared and ready. See how nice that was. That was lovely, wasn't it? You lucky son of a bitch. Next one. Here we go. This is a little bit different. Not just a push on the base. It is a siege. I didn't even know they were going to do this. Oh, that was great. I don't know if it's that clear to see in all this chopping and changing that I've done just to edit all this video game footage down. But yes, they have built a mortar. The one I'm firing is incendiary, which I didn't really think it through. I'll tell you why at the end of this little clip. You can see my chaps engaging. I also won't tell you how many times I may have reloaded this from an autosave. It may have been a few, but you know what? I mean, I've got so far sunk enough time into making a colony. I'll cheat a little bit. Why not? There you go. Dominated. Absolutely crushed. The guy fleeing. See you later. Good idea once you've killed somebody to strip the corpse, take the weapons, take any clothing that they might have. On we go to something a little bit different. I didn't realise what these guys were, so there I was, being all pro, running Nebula along the outside of that wall. Didn't think I was going to get any shots fired on me. Little did I realise they are, well, they're pretty pants. As far as bad guys go, they're pretty pants. But still, you know, clubs and that, you don't want them getting close. I did rely far too heavily on my auto turrets though, far too heavily. And as a result, you'll see what happens when I call the chubbies in to help out. There you go, bam. Sucks. So what I should have done is got my guys down there much sooner. You'll also notice as I'm getting into position, speared. So it's just, unnecessary. I could have avoided it. But hey, you live and learn. And with those fuckers on the run, on we go to the final clip that I've got for you with regards to combat. Same again. Now I'm a little bit more used to it now and the way it works. I didn't tell you the reason why it's a bad idea to use incendiary, and that's because if there is anything in the local area, you're going to torch it. However, it does push them into making a decision, which is either put out the fires and sit tight, or let's just get it on. And they took the let's get it on approach, as you will see in just a second when it happens. Might be a good time for a joke. No, they're pushing. It's all good. It's all good. We don't need it. Okay, so pan back to the base. And see, I'm still damaged from the mortar shots, so I've lost a bit of power. A few auto turrets are down. But I've learned from my lesson, or learned from my mistake rather. I've learned my lesson. One thing I will say is it's probably not a good idea to put all your little chubbies in one place, just because some of the weapons that the guys have are a little bit explosive-y. There's also every likelihood, if you stand in front of your turrets, you're going to get shot in the back or in the side or something, so that's why I've stood well back. All of my guys have got range on them though, so no problem. Won't be long before they're out of here. You may also have noticed that I have additional chubbies rather than the starting 3, and that's because I've recruited them. Anywho, the whole point of all of this is to build a spaceship. I don't know how yet. Watch this space.